Yo, what's up, friends? Welcome back to the local podcast. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Greensburg Video. That's my video and photography company located right here on Main Street in Greensburg. If you and your company are up for some fresh ideas and some engaging content, look no further than Greensburg Video. You can check out my work at gbgvideo.net or greensburgvideo.com. My portfolio is growing daily, so you can check that out. Shoot me a message, and we'll figure out a strategy for you. Speaking of advertising, you can do that for your business right here on the local podcast. If you're interested in that, hit me up at thelocal724.com. All right, today on the podcast, we have singer-songwriter and fellow podcaster, Luke motherfucking Weltz. Welcome to the local 724 podcast in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the local podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Hauser. Today with me, we've got fellow Latrobian, Luke Weltz. How are you, sir?
Hey, buddy. How's it going? Doing great.
Doing all right. Mm-hmm. We get Luke he's a musician, and he does all kinds of music, but he's also a fellow podcaster, which is pretty fun. That's exciting. This is the first time I think I've talked to another podcaster. So cheers, sir.
Cheers. Yeah. Let me give you a little rollabout about me. My name's Luke Weltz. For those of you out there, I'm a singer-songwriter from Latrobe, Pennsylvania. I have my own podcast called Worst Case Podcasts. Right now we're up on Spotify. We got a couple episodes out. I'm also a musician, like Jordan said. I got my own band, Luke Weltz Band. We are about to release, or upcoming a future debut release of our first 15-track LP. I'm probably going to drop a couple singles before that. And I'm all about local music. I love going to open mic nights. I enjoy doing a lot of things, even outside music. I enjoy fitness. I enjoy seeing my family. You know, I'm really into connection. That's my little credo.
Yeah. So, How old a guy are you?
27. Going strong.
27. Nice, man. I'm 10 years older than you.
And that your music was probably better you grew up with, though. I'll be honest.
You want to talk like some older style music, man. Like your influences are like, dude, they're all just good. For a 27-year-old kid, you've got you've got guys like Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson and Ray Charles and Clapton, all that stuff. I mean, it's just like, it's such a cool thing, like, to see. And my parents used to point this stuff out too. They would just be like, how is it that this kid is into the music that we were listening to? And it's just something that, like, you grow up with your parents, or you grow up with your parents' friends listening to really good music. And then you're just like, oh man, this stuff's awesome. Mm-hmm. So it's just, how did you get, to a point where you were listening to those kinds of bands? Or
I think So I think just being out there in the public and chatting with people and seeing kind of what was going on in the open mic scene had a heavy influence on me. It'd be nice if somebody would play something that was just killer and it would hit, and I would want to really get into that style of music. And of course, starting out at Speal's Tavern, I was the first open mic I started going to. You can hear in my keys, I'm heavily blues influenced. I also grew up playing gospel music before I started going to open mics. So a lot of chord progressions and the whole genre, it's just a different genre, So I went from gospel early on in life because I started playing piano when I was about 8. My grandmother was an organist and sang in the choir. So I had a nice mentor there, and there was a little baby grand in her house. And from there on out, I played at church. I played at churches, played at weddings. The keys add something that is nostalgic, and I feel blessed that I can play a piano really well. Like sometimes I get to go, damn, I can play that thing, right? Because I've been doing it for so long. And it's not a bragging thing. It's not a cocky thing. It's just years on one thing, the same thing, all the time. So that's my bread and butter. I feel like as a musician, it's kind of like my hidden weapon is bringing out the keys, especially when we play as a full band. Mm-hmm. My mother was heavily influenced by Motown. My dad was in the CCR and that AC/DC rock and roll. And my grandfather liked old folk, Waylon Jennings kind of stuff. So in a nutshell, that's kind of where it all kind of came to fruition.
It's awesome, man. I mean, you said it right at the beginning of the podcast. I mean, like you're into hanging out with family and all that stuff. And I mean, their influences become your influences and everything like that, man. It's real cool.
That was my first audience really as a musician. They didn't want to pay me or anything, but that was my first experience playing in front of people,
Bring bills. Bring bills, Dad. Bring bills.
Yeah. I should have laid it like an ashtray at the end of the piano with a tip jar, like a Billy Joel thing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome, man. So you started playing piano first. That was the first instrument you learned how to play?
Yeah. Heart and Soul is the first song I learned. Dun, 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 da, 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 da,
yeah.
da.
Dude, that's awesome, man. So you're with your grandma. She's teaching you how to play piano. That's going. When did you start to play other instruments? You play guitar and stuff too, right?
Yeah, I picked up an acoustic on my 16th birthday. Following that, I got a bass the same year. And I realized going on, I had to change my set as a solo act, as an acoustic show, because some places piano just doesn't. The crowd is too tingy. It's not really for their ears. So a piano takes an ear to listen to. Yeah. So that's why I switched my act up now, where I do about an hour and a half of each instrument, or sometimes I couple the instruments. Like I have a song called Mr. Hollywood. I play piano in the beginning and then break in with an acoustic guitar.
Dude, that's awesome, man. It's really neat just to think so you had 8 years of musical experience under your belt before you even picked up a guitar.
Yes.
And that's what, what was it like to go from piano to guitar? Because this is probably, it's a super interesting question to me.
I think where I happened to get lost initially was with the fretboard, because the fretboard looked nothing to me like white and blacks, white and black keys. I'm talking about them. Don't worry, I'm not getting political. The piano's a political instrument.
Right.
But no,
everything is these days.
I know, you gotta watch what you say. I'm going by Zay today, just so you know, Jordan.
Right.
Oh hell. But yeah, so you play that instrument and you go to another one, and really the only thing that is common is theory. And when you can connect theory from a G chord to piano to a G chord on guitar, then you kind of learn the scales and the motions from there. But it comes from theory. It never came from just innate physical abilities.
Yeah. It's got to be. I mean, just the shapes of the chords, like on the guitar. I mean, that's not going to be anything like the shape on a piano.
I would suggest piano is easier for your hands. I think you could have a more endurance. Like you play a 3-hour show and not really feel it at night. But when you play a bass guitar, which I do in my band, you can feel it sometimes that night or the next day laying too. So if you have wrist problems, get a piano. Yeah.
Dude, especially those big ass bass chords, man. You're like, Jesus. There's a whole
that's why I use the Hofner ignition bass. The violin bass it's a short neck bass. So what's nice with that is for somebody like me who has little hands, I can do a lot more. I can actually thumb over it at times.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's awesome.
So just change the fretboard.
Yeah. That adds like a whole different dynamic to playing. If you can get over top, with your thumb and stuff like that, that's a whole different thing, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, makes bass chords very, very easy. And bass I would say is simpler than even going from piano to guitar. I'd rather went like piano to bass. Yeah. Because maybe it's just because it's more what I'm doing now, but I feel like it's also just so easy to pick up. I tell people all the time, get a bass.
Yeah. Just kind of like just fruit notes, Yeah.
It doesn't take a genius.
It's pretty sweet, man. I picked up a bass in 2020, first time ever.
Oh, nice. What kind?
It was just a no-name bass that I got from eBay, and something I don't even know. There's no markings on it whatsoever. It's really nice. It plays nice, very light. It's like really, really light, but it's a full-size bass, and I mean, like, nice. It's very kind of it's challenging because I have small hands too. So it's just like, I'm jumping a lot more instead of, being able to just, stretch.
I got an old electric here. If you want me to show you, my landlord gave it to me out in my basement.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome, man. That's
I got it right here. It's
yeah,
I'll
you
show
can
you
grab
real
it.
quick.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, look how small that case is.
Dude, that is weird.
Let's see what we got here. There we go.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So
there you go.
I don't even know what kind it is. It says Harmony.
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 Nice.
So
I think
if you're into harmony guitars, also, if you want to buy this, get a hold of me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think something might be wrong with the inside, though, so I don't want to give you anything.
Right.
It's got electric tape at the top of the neck. It's funny, though.
Harmony, I think, was that was the first guitar I ever had. I bought it from some dude I used to skateboard with. It was like a red Harmony like Strat body.
Nice. Put that, you're on your penny board. You ever get a penny board?
Oh, yeah.
I had those. I got it stolen. Somebody stole it in college when I was in college. Yeah. I was like, I'm waiting for the guy to come by one day. I'll have an elbow just waiting like a little clothesline. Just if I ever saw it.
Take your board back real quick.
That's hard. That is a hard thing to ride.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're so small. But. So you were talking about Speal's.
Yeah, Speal's Tavern.
Dude, that was just by like sheer coincidence. I ended up there one night. A buddy of mine was just like, "Hey, do you want to go out and grab a drink?" And then, his wife and my wife were just like, let's go check it out. We didn't feel like getting too crazy that night, so we just like kind of wanted to do something low key. So we went out there, and no luck, man. We ended up partying our faces off because it was an open mic night and everybody was just having a blast. The drinks were like super cheap. Yeah. I like went up to buy a round and the lady was like, all right, that'll be $4. And I'm like, for which I was like, nah, I wanted to pay for all of them. And she was like, you did. And I'm like, oh, fuck. This is going to get messy.
Yeah. She just gave me the green light. Go.
Right. Yeah. But dude, just like watching the amount of like, people just like going up and playing and like doing different things, dude. It was so amazing. Like the influences like throughout the entire like place had to have just been so insanely eclectic because like there were just like old guys going up there, sitting down and like, doing whatever they wanted to do, play some bass, play some guitar. Somebody else, maybe 17 years old, would go up there and sit down at the drum kit and do something. It was just like,
right. You get old guys and young men. Yeah. You get a camaraderie of men, I feel like, older and younger. Yeah. Like I play with many guys that are in their 70s and there's something honorable about that. And there's something that you connect with and when they harbor you as a musician and say you do well, that lets you know you're doing the right things, Because if you get along with those people, I feel like you can transcend to other collaborations, outside, definitely. And that's a great thing to do, like strip down versions of songs or have somebody cover your original song. If anybody wants to do that, let me know. I've been looking into that. I think that's really cool.
That's sweet, man. How long have you been playing that open mic?
Oh, I think I started going when I was 15. That was the first time I started going there. I wasn't allowed to drink at the time, of course, but they're like, go ahead and you can play that piano if you want, So I started doing 3 songs, 3 song sets. And I played my first 2-3 years as a musician with no pay at all. I made 0 income first 3 years of playing. Yeah. But I would say I'm busier now than I've ever been before. And I'm happier now than I've ever been before because I'm with people that support me and so we have a common belief in our potential. So that's amazing. You can't buy it.
Right. Dude, I mean, like we were just talking before the show a little bit. And yesterday, you're busy, dude. You've got, I'm
blessed.
You got a full week coming up here almost.
Yeah. We moved the open mic. For those of you out there, I did announce we were going to have the open mic this week, but we moved it to June 2nd because I guess the owner said Mark Madden's going to be commentating some event. I'm like, we're not better than Mark Madden. Like Mark Madden's better. Like Luke Weltz band, Mark Madden. Pick one.
Right, yeah. I'd rather see Luke Weltz band. To be completely honest,
I'm like, fuck, come on, dude.
Right. I don't know, man. I mean, I like the guy. He's an all right dude, but like sometimes when I'm in a mood and then I'm hearing him and his mood, I can't take it. I'm just like, all right, man, shut up. Like,
yeah, dude. It's awesome we're on a platform we can just openly throw bombs at people.
Oh yeah, it's nice. It's
I mean,
great.
not that we don't enjoy it. Trust me, guys, we don't enjoy it, but it's what we do. We talk about things, you know.
Yeah. I was just thinking about this the other day, and I was like, man, when I used to listen to like talk radio, it was so funny. I listened to a show called Opie and Anthony. They were pretty much like, oh, all right, so you know who they are.
Yeah.
Or at least who they were. So they would be on like terrestrial radio, and then they would do like 2 hours on that and then 2 hours on XM satellite. So it would be like a completely different show. They, you know, everything was really clean on terrestrial radio, and then they go to satellite and, you know, say some wacky things and stuff. And
do you worry about like censorship, or do you worry about, you know?
No, not really at all. Not with this. It's just like, I reached out to, and sometimes, I mean, maybe if we hit weird topics or something like that, but like with the video business, you know, I reached out to clients that I was kind of worried about. And I just said like, hey, look, this isn't who I am, like as a professional, like with my business.
Of course.
This is a podcast, and I feel like I'm going to say whatever I want. And they all sent me, they all sent me emails, and they were just like, we don't give a shit what you say, dude. You say whatever you want.
Right.
Like, it's your show.
Shouldn't. Yeah. I mean, free speech is more important now than ever before. And I think something that I'm running into now is, you know, something hypothetical happened yesterday on my podcast. We shot Day by Day yesterday, and it's up on Spotify now. But we had a segment there where we hypothetically said Shane was a porn star. And we got on the topic, like, you can never watch all the porn. Like, I'm thinking to myself, like, what if somebody hears this, like, and they're like, they have a bad interpretation of it? But I think it's inevitable, right? If you're going to be doing this. So I think that's something you take on the chin. Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to, you know, expand this show into something a little different. Like maybe have you sit down with me and somebody from like Helltown Brewing or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, and just like really sit down and just like talk about current events or something like that. But then like, obviously, you know, it always doesn't have to be about specifically like, you know, who you are, what you do, blah, 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 all that stuff. I mean,
no, you got to keep some stuff personal.
Yeah. I mean, it's great to have the first show explain who everybody is and what they do. But then on your return visit, I mean, we've already talked about that stuff. So let's talk about other stuff. So,
right. You probably run to the same kind of routine with podcasting and interviews. I go off nothing. I go off just pure, grab something out of the air. Like that's what I think worked well with Alyssa Hankey's podcast and the last one we did too.
Mm-hmm. So you've done 2 episodes?
Yeah, we've done 2 episodes.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It's such a fun thing to do. I mean, like, podcasting is like one of those things that just like, I never thought that I would want to do it or even be interested in it at all.
Right.
And what happened was I started making YouTube videos to feed my creative needs or whatever. And I got comfortable.
You're an addict like me.
Right. Yeah. I got comfortable talking to people, and like, I would do like little interviews with other YouTube creators. And I was like, man, this is like, it's really fun to learn more about people. And there it was. That's it.
There it is. That's the whole boat.
Right.
It's really cool. I'm glad we are the 2 guys that are doing it right now. It's fun. But if you want to talk more music, we can talk about that. What's going on?
Hell yeah, dude. Tell me like what you got going on for the year and what you're looking forward to.
Well, we're looking forward to a record release here. We've been recording for over a year now. We've had several guest artists. We had Joe Scheller from Derek Wood's band.
Yep.
We've had Ray, the harmonica player from East Coast Turnaround, Eric Samasco from Bring 'em Bring 'em, Nate Bigler, drummer from the band Truckster, Maria Michelle, who is a female vocalist, and probably somebody else I might be messing up. But, you know, Brandy and Sean are in there, you know, but they own the studio. Sean's a guitarist and the drummer for my band, so he did a little bit of that stuff, and Brandy did some shaker stuff. she's up there with the tambourine, like calling court, she's so. We have a lot of guest artists. I'd say we have about 6 different guitarists, Anthony Farine, Jake Jones, Sean, Eric, a lot of different hands in it. And we're almost done mastering it. It's in the mastering process now. It's getting down to about 50% left. And right now we have demo tracks available, and we're just trying to listen to everything through cars, through headphones, to see what we can adjust for that, because we're not paying outsourcing our mastering process.
Yeah.
We have that set up. I have an August potential date lined up with a party and everything, but we'll see if the distribution and the cover art and everything goes through swimmingly. I hope it does. I really want it to. So
yeah, there's always kinds of wild different things behind the scenes that you got to take care of. I mean, for things like that, I was in a band when I was right in college, early 2000s. And it, that's what we wanted to do was, my camera went out, but, that's what we wanted to do, have a release party. We went and we recorded and everything was fun. And, it was great. The one thing that really kind of annoyed me was the fact that the guy that recorded our album was like, oh yeah, man, this is going to be super affordable. Don't worry about it. We get into this guy's studio. It was in Erie, Pennsylvania. We went up there, and the dude has pictures of Eric Clapton and him shaking hands on the wall and shit. And the dude from Train, Pat Monahan.
Oh yeah. Pat Monahan.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, man. So I'm looking around, and this guy's it was a pretty modest studio. It wasn't anything crazy. And, so I'm like, okay, man, so this is going to be pretty affordable, right? Then we just kept on trying to hammer him on what it was going to cost. And he was like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. He goes, it's only going to be $1,000 or something like that. And I'm like, oh shit, cool. So, between That's 5 awesome. Of us, whatever. Mm-hmm. And, he didn't tell us that it was going to be, certain amount of money per hour then to master. So we're sitting there and just we get a bill at the end of this, and it was holy shit. We all had to go, dude, we were I don't know, 18, 19 years old. We had to go borrow money from our parents to get the album, but it was fun, man. It was cool. Pat Monahan actually lives in Erie.
Oh, I know that. Yeah, the studio we work out now, it's a great studio, Appleye Studio. You can find them on Facebook and Instagram. I think the people, what's nice about our podcast, that we have it at a recording studio. Mm-hmm. So yesterday we had Day by Day. After the podcast, they struck up a deal, and now they're going to be tracking their first single.
That's awesome.
So we also offer the record, the studio is kind of part of the band and the business in a way, where we're contributing to artists are contributing to us. We're putting our names in each other's mouths, and it's a good dynamic. I think that's the best way to do it now, because I don't think you want to sign some ridiculous contract. If you can do it through monetizing your content through some kind of thing you do, it doesn't have to be podcasting. It could be something.
Right.
I think that's more beneficial and cost affordable.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, the contacts that you make from doing this sort of thing are pretty awesome.
I got somebody yesterday to help me with graphic design. Brian gave me some names. I'm learning. I think it's just adding more layers to what I do.
Yeah, it's really neat. I mean, I've met so many different people through doing the podcast, and same deal. I mean, the reason that this whole thing even exists is so I could have people listen to a podcast with an ad for my video company in the beginning of it. That was the whole idea. It was oh, cool. Well, you're going to be on my podcast. Maybe you'll be oh, hey, the video guy that did the podcast. Yeah. Let's use the video guy. And
will this be video as well?
Yeah. Well, to a certain point, there's going to be some clips and stuff that I'm going to pull out of this, but it's my camera always dies halfway through it. So, but it
happens.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just it's fun to run into the different types of people. I mean, you had those guys in on your podcast, and then it's well, at that point, why would they know you? They've had conversation with you, you know, And so let's work together. Let's create something cool together. And
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. It's a great way to make contacts and network with people.
Yeah, I'm a busy person. I think the responsibility that I carry with me can be potential for others. So that's how I kind of treat it. Like I'm lucky I get to play a lot of shows. I'm lucky I get to do what I do. And why not give somebody who needs that? Because right now we're coming out of the pandemic and stuff like that. But there was people who just got their momentum totally shut off, their drive to fulfill things and have purpose and back in their music again. So I think this is a way to kickstart that as well. Because when you see somebody doing it, you're inspired by that. So,
100%. Yeah.
So, it's very fulfilling. I mean, I do work a full-time job on top of all this, on the outside. My days are full of things I enjoy.
Pretty packed, huh? What do you do for a full-time gig?
I'm a casino dealer.
Nice.
Yeah. At Live Casino in Pittsburgh.
That's pretty
And
sweet.
I like that job because I'm personable. The people I work for are very nice. And couldn't say more good things about it.
Yeah. I always wanted to learn how to count cards. The math was just too fast.
Yeah. Even if you do, it's like the odds with the shuffle machine. I don't know how they do it. I'm sure they could try. I think hand shuffling, you'd probably be able to read it better. But when they just go into a box,
right? Yeah,
you can't see all the
right. Yeah, and I mean, what are you guys doing? You're probably shuffling like 6 decks at least at a time, right?
6 decks in blackjack. Yeah, I believe it's more in mini box. I deal a couple of different games. I deal 3-card poker, all carnival games, and, roulette. I learned roulette next month. Start classes for that.
That's fun.
It is. Good spin ball. And it's gambling, man.
There you go. You can go into your roulette class with that joke. You can just be like, this is going to be a ball
here. Right? That's all I want. Give me that. That's why, but it also works. That job really works my communication skills a lot. And I couldn't tell you how much transcended to like a podcast and just my mic talk at a live event, like a live show.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing I think musicians have a hard time learning is
crowd work.
Just say something. Say something.
Yep.
Don't just sit there and tune and talk to your band. Don't give them the back. Don't give them your back,
Yeah.
I think that's huge. Presentation.
Yeah.
What's it like? For one thing.
What's it like to be back to shows, man? I mean, after you got shut down, for a year, really couldn't play or anything like that. How's it like? What's it like to be back to doing live shows?
Well, I'll tell you what, it feels like you're coming out of a drowning situation. It's nuts, but I didn't sink as low as maybe other people did. I was really kind of going full tilt. Before in March, when the pandemic was going down, I was living with my parents at the time. I just moved back home and I was restarting in a sense. I was restarting to think what I wanted to do for a career, what I wanted to do with the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of on board then with music and entertainment and stuff like that. So I kept the shows going. I was still playing probably about 1 or 2 times a week, even with full blown lockdown, with full at tight. And I just kept my contacts. I kept people that were close to me. And now those seeds have grown and more places are opening. And I've met so many people by preparing in the pandemic year.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome, man. That's really good. I mean, were you playing a lot of like virtual shows or outside shows? How are you still being able to do it?
Yeah, virtual shows. I'm doing acoustic covers. I post online on my Instagram, Facebook. I'm not a big fan of virtual streaming in my apartment because it's my apartment, but I streamed a couple events on our Instagram page with the band. I'm okay with doing those. I wasn't doing a lot of live streams though when it was at its heat. I did do the Palace Theater. I don't know if you saw that one. Yeah. Where they did the virtual Palace Theater. There was opportunities, I would say, but it's good to kind of get away from that. But you learn from that. You learn virtual tips. You learn how to monetize more content. Right. So it added another just like a little shank in the tool belt, to use. You bigger reach without leaving. You can do more things, without having to leave your home.
Yeah.
That's ideal,
It is ideal. Yeah. That's pretty nice. What's your favorite part about playing out, man? Like what really gets you going about it?
The fact that it's 100% full expression. You have the stage and you have a microphone and you're ready to go and you have something to say. I have problems with anxiety, I would say, and it helps me kind of alleviate that. Yeah. And also kind of put in the energy that I feel with everything I do into other people. Because when you talk to people now, they're broken. Some people don't have anything going on, no hobbies. And I know how I was inspired. And I think I'm just kind of recreating that event when I was younger. But now I'm on the stage and doing that.
Yeah.
And the people and it's all the places I've met. Every week's different for me. I'll never regret my 20s because I got to go different places and meet so many different people, because on a weekly basis, my life is always changing.
Right.
I don't look at that as stressful. I don't look at that as overbearing. At times it is frustrating, but the stories I have and the people, I can't, it's ridiculous. It's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, like you go out and you play, you meet so many people, at each place, and, you just keep on doing that. I mean, and like you said, you're so busy that it's just like you're meeting multiple people, per week and all of that. I think everybody, somewhere down the line has a tinge of anxiety. I have anxiety like crazy. And it's just like, at the beginning of doing the podcast thing, it was absolutely terrifying to me, even though I knew. Yeah. I mean, like my first one, I had the guys from Invisible Man Brewing on, and I felt comfortable with those dudes because I went to school with Sean and, I had met Ted through Sean, and I was just like, it should be cool. I had to like sit there and remind myself that nobody was listening to this except for the three of us sitting in a room. And that was it. Like nobody knew it was even going on. And then eventually, and by eventually, I mean like 20 more episodes. I finally just was like, you know what? This isn't bad. And then you just kind of get into the conversation and you don't really think about anything else. It's just like, like I assume that's probably how it is when you're playing music. You're just like, you're in the zone and you're doing your thing. And I think maybe that's probably why most people are afraid to do that crowd work you were talking about earlier, because they are very rehearsed at what they're doing musically. And then when it comes time to be like, what's up? How's it going out there? Everyone's like, yeah, they're doing all right. And like they kind of leave you hanging. You're not going to sit there and have a conversation. It's a one-sided conversation, so you have to just be like, hey, what's up? How are you doing? Like be comfortable not getting responses. Do you know what I mean?
It's a give, no take kind of situation.
Right. Yeah.
And some people we all were there once, being stuck in that closet space where we're not interacting with our fans. And I think you eventually either do it or you don't. And if you don't, well, then you're probably going to be the same kind of act everybody's going to see, or you're going to develop a pattern.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
so.
Well, what do you got coming up on the horizon, like show wise? Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on my website. We just dropped off an email list. You can get on that as LukeWeltz.com. You can find Luke Weltz Music on Facebook, as well as the band, Luke Weltz Band. If you jump on our Instagram, we have different handles on there. We have my personal profile, Luke Weltz, and then Luke Weltz Band. We have YouTube, Luke Weltz Band on YouTube, TikTok as well. And I do acoustic covers on my Facebook page. We're slowly developing merch right now, and building our store, because the release is going to be coming up soon. We'll be able to put that on our website, and you guys will be able to get that. And Derek Woods helped us with the cover art. Shout out to Derek Woods.
Yeah.
And he's really helped me along the process.
Derek's a good dude, man.
Yeah. He's a really good dude.
Very cool dude. And Joe Scheller, I don't know if you know, Joe Scheller is my next door neighbor.
Oh, I know. I heard you. I listened to you guys' podcast. I listened to the episode you did with him. Yeah.
Dude, he's really cool guy, man. I love the fact that like there's somebody else on my street that isn't your normal 9-to-5er. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's a pro musician. Like it's awesome.
He's uncommon amongst common men.
Right? Very. Yeah, dude. What shows do you have coming up this weekend?
Well, this weekend at the Tatty Boggle Cider Works in Acme. I'll be playing there Friday, and then Thursday I'm at Washington Run Park. These are just acoustic shows. Bands at Bloom Brew, West Newton, June 11th, I believe, and July 2nd we're playing at 1700 Penn Ave in Pittsburgh.
Nice.
August 1st we're at Bellaterra Vineyards in Hunker, and then September 25th we're playing the E-Train Music Festival in Homer City.
Dude, that's awesome, man.
It's great. I'm excited, sweet, man. We got new music. We're actually playing some follow-up singles we plan to release after this big, drop.
Right.
So the wheels are turning. Keep that momentum going out there. Everybody out there, just keep it going.
Filling up that calendar, dude. That's awesome. That's the way.
It's 9 to 5, man.
Hell yeah, it does. I got to ask you, man, that robe, is it a robe? Is it a suit jacket? What do we got going on here?
I look like Hugh Hefner.
Right? you need a pipe and some,
you see
some ladies.
Yeah. Be dancing around full of women. Just, oh my God. Yeah. I've got this on Wish.com.
There you go.
This is a nice little purchase. I wanted to kind of look like Jim Carrey, from The Mask. So
love it.
It's a black, it's got some spunk to it. I'm learning what I'm not folk. I don't have a folk rock outfit, but this is kind of this is the star of something. I don't know what we're going to end up being.
Dude, I love it, man.
I'm waiting for I want to be the Reno cop where he had the booty shorts on.
Right. Yeah. I think that would look good together.
Fuck yeah.
That's a man's move right there. I like it.
It's very comfortable. I got a shower though. I came out from the gym here and put my sweaty body in this thing. Probably not a great idea.
Shit. All right, brother. Well, I'll let you go take care of all of that. I appreciate you being on the show, dude. It was great to get you on here finally. We've been trying to do this for a while.
Skip that. I had COVID. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It was.
I had COVID. I got over it. We rescheduled it. I was, like I told you, I was playing tennis day 3 into that whole thing. You're like, how are you?
Yeah. I'm like checking in on you. I'm like, hey man, how's it going? And you're out there taking it easy, playing some tennis and got some days off of work. So fuck.
Yeah. I'm gonna be doing that when I'm 50. I love tennis.
Oh yeah, dude. Dude, it hit everybody different. That was the weirdest thing about it. Like my dad got it. And my sister-in-law got it. And,
I'm so sorry.
Everybody had it. My wife had it. It put my wife down, man. She was sick, like really, really sick. And then like my dad, he said he had like no symptoms at all, except for he was tired and his neck and back hurt. That was it. Like, and then there's guys like you who are outside fucking playing tennis, doing backflips.
I'm eating grass-fed beef and taking vitamins. Like I'm doing all right, man. Awesome. A lot of vegetables, a lot of greens, beetroot.
Hell yeah.
There's tons of stuff, if you ever want to get into that, let me know.
Hell yeah.
I used to be a trainer. I used to be a personal trainer when I got out of college. That was my first job. I taught yoga and other aspects of health. I was really into that out of college.
Hell yeah. Dude, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Fun. Very good.
All right, boss.
All right, man. Thank you so
much.
much.
Weltz fan, check us out. Yep, Luke Weltz fan. Check out the record release.
As always, be sure to connect with Luke at the links that he provided here at the end of the show. Those links will be down in the show description. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was really fun to talk with Luke. He's a cool dude. And make sure you check out his podcast. Also, you could go visit him at the live casino. Throw him some chips. Have a good conversation. Very cool, fun guy to talk to. I'll see you guys next time.